love good food but are absolutely intimidated by your kitchen? Is the only thing you know how to make microwave meals? Then this is the cooking show for you. Welcome to Simply Cooking. I'm Laura Lee. I'm going to be your guide through the basic concepts of cooking. Let's get started. I thought we should start with something kind of basic. Eggs. Now relax. Eggs are easy to prepare and they're perfect for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and they're very, very quick. So come on. I'm going to show you all the basic preparations for eggs so that you can cook like a master. Let's go. Now let me give you a basic introduction on pots and pans. This is what you need to make an egg. A non-stick pan. This one happens to be ceramic. It is vital, crucial, important to use a non-stick pan. If you use a skillet like this one, albeit fantastic for a whole litany of other preparations, this is a terrible pan to make eggs in. We'll use this to make poached eggs, but don't try and fry an egg or make an omelet in this. It's disastrous. So let's go ahead and make fried eggs. Great for breakfast, great for lunch, great for dinner. Cook them in a hurry. Great thing to do. Start with butter. You can use margarine. I'm not really a fan. I don't recommend olive oil, even though it's extremely good for you. I don't like olive oil on eggs. Eggs are kind of a delicate flavor. Olive oil is a little bit overwhelming. Now, I have this on medium. This stove cooks a little hot. What you're looking for is for the butter to start to bubble, not to turn brown, but to start to bubble. Here, see? See how my butter is bubbling, but not really brown? That's the perfect temperature for frying an egg. And as it starts to get bubbling, as it spreads all over the pan, you want to act kind of quickly. Grab a little butter knife, make a quick chop in the egg, and there you go. Woo-wee! Not tough. Here you go again. Quick drop. Drop the egg in. Just a little. By the way, if you hold your salt up high, it tends to spread out evenly over your eggs. If you get it right out here, you may just have one spot of salt on it, so kind of hold it up high. It'll look all fancy. Actually, that disperses the salt and pepper evenly over it. Now, if you like your eggs sunny side up, pardon me while I put on my reading glasses, sad, isn't it? If you like your eggs sunny side up, once they're in the pan, just sort of baste them a little teeny bit with the butter like this. You're going to want to use a non-stick spatula. You don't want to use a metal spatula on your non-stick surface. Literally, it'll pull the stuff off. Not good. Now, over easy eggs, or sunny side up, which is what I'm starting with, are super quick. Take your butter. Again, this is only on medium. This is just exactly how you want your eggs to cook. Fairly quickly, see they maintain their shape. If you want sunny side, just kind of take your little spatula and sort of baste, push it over it, baste your eggs with the butter in the pan. For a sunny side up egg, once that white is firm, your egg is done. The goal with sunny side up eggs is to have the white completely cooked and not liquidy, but for the egg to be up and pretty and smiling and happy. Good way to do this, come down the center, kind of separate your eggs. This is a very quick preparation. These eggs are done in less than 2 minutes. Now look at that. See how my white is already starting to solidify? It's not liquidy and clear anymore. With the sunny side up egg, as soon as that liquid is all solid set, as soon as it's not clear anymore, your eggs are ready. So I'm going to come over here, grab a plate. By the time I get my plate and get it back here, look at that. Do you see? Let me give you a close-up of that so you can understand what I'm talking about. Okay, my white is completely cooked here now. There's no more clear liquidy. You just want to ensure that the white is completely cooked and that there's not any clear translucent part left on the egg. That's where you can kind of get into danger. The days of eating raw eggs are kind of gone. Now look at that. See how my white is completely cooked? All I have to do is take my pan, take my plate, et voila! Perfect sunny side up eggs in less than 3 minutes, and these are delicious. See? Perfect sunny side up eggs. All the white is completely cooked. There's no real liquidy, but the tops are all friendly and bubbling, saying, "Hello, aren't we friendly? Don't you want to dip toast in us? Bring on the toast. Bring on the toast." I love these friendly eggs. Now let's move on to a little bit easier egg. Let's try over medium or over easy. That's actually how I prefer my eggs. A lot of people like sunny side up. It's great for dunking, but I kind of prefer a little less runny. Here we go. Little bit of butter. See, I'm not taking too much. That's really not too much. See? About 1 pat. That's less than a tablespoon of butter. That's probably about a teaspoon and a half, or just 1 good pat. Basically, again, all we're wanting to do is coat the pan. Now look, see how bubbly that is? Now notice that I put the knife I use for the butter on the plate with the butter, keeping it separate from the things that actually touch the raw eggs. Really important. Now see this? Look. Nice and bubbly. That tells me it's perfect. You kind of want to put the egg a little closer to the pan. You don't want to really hold the egg up really high. If you do, you'll break your yolk. It's really not that difficult. Look, I made a little hole. Et voila! C'est pas difficile. That's pretty easy. Again, you want the seasoning over the entire eggs, not just in a little area. So hold your salt or pepper up high. And look at that. See, they're already starting to bubble. See that? Bubble, 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 bubble. And you can, this is when I talk about basting, when you hear basting a bird, basting a turkey, basting your eggs. All they mean is that you are taking the juice, in this case butter, and you're kind of throwing it back on top of the eggs. Now, sunny side eggs are easy because they just slip right out of the pan. The difficult part of eggs that are over easy or over medium or over hard is flipping the egg. Here's a couple of tips. One, see how now the eggs have started to turn white? They're not clear in the center. I take my little spatula and I break it like that. Now I've got 2 eggs. Before I attempt to flip this egg though, I want to make sure that basically the egg white is pretty much cooked. If I try and pick it up and flip it now, I'm really going to have a mess. So you wait. La, 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 la. You kind of got to work with them a little bit, which is why I say it's easier if you let the whites cook. You can turn the pan, you know, that's what the handle is for. Turn the pan, and see how I just kind of shimmy? I just shimmy it onto the spatula. It's really not difficult. Look at that. Woo! Wow, it's flipped. Shimmy, 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 and flip. Now, if you like your eggs over easy, they're done. Right there. That's over easy. Turn it over, you flip it, and pretty much that is an over easy egg. Pardon me while I get a plate. Look at that. Again, same thing. You can either pull them out like that. Over easy eggs. Easy. I just basically, once you flip the egg, it's pretty much done. Look at that. Nice and gooey. Perfect for dunking your toast in. But the white is completely cooked. See? I just flipped them over like that. The white is totally done, and the egg is still completely runny. Okay, now we're going to do eggs the way I like them. Over medium. Make sure you use your knife for the butter, a little pat of butter. See? Not too much. Put our pan in here, put your butter on. And again, what we're looking for is bubbling. We want bubbling butter. That's how it's best. Not too much, not too brown. Take your egg knife, you don't have to hit this hard, look. Just want to break it. Take your eggs, I mean you can do it on the pan. I can do that too, I can be all fancy. show you this. Hold your pan tight, hold the egg like this, and you can use it and break it like this. On the side of the pan and directly in. I just kind of like to use the knife. I find it's a little less messy. Hold your salt and pepper up high so it all goes around evenly. Particularly with salt. See, way up here. Like I said, not only does it look cool, it disperses the salt more evenly. Now look at that. See? All of the egg white is now pretty much white. This one needs just a second, but by the time I turn this egg, this one will be ready. Take your spatula, gently. Listen to that. Can you hear it talking? You can move them around as long as you don't hit the yolk. Actually, these eggs are pretty sturdy. See that? Look. Just sort of gently shimmy it onto the spatula. Turn the pan if you need to. That's why it's got a handle. And see, basically you want to know that the whole egg is on there so that when you pick it up, it doesn't just go. See? And look, flip. Whoa! There you go. See? This one is not quite solid. It's still a little translucent, but I come out to the end of it. Make sure that the bulk of the egg is on the spatula. Look. Wow. Now, if you wanted them over easy, they're done. But I like mine over medium. Doesn't take a whole long time. Maybe like 10 seconds. I've never really timed it, but I can tell you that that's pretty much done. Take the egg. Look at there. See? Over medium. Just how I like them. Still running, but not goopy. Perfect, easy, over medium eggs. If you like them well done, you honestly would just keep in the pan for a little bit longer. Probably about a minute. You can see it's really not a long process. If you like them that, I find them a little rubbery like that, but some people like it like that. I can tell by pushing on this that this is done. Here we go. It's an over hard egg. See? Look. Perfect. Actually, that's kind of pretty. Fantastic. Now you know how to make fried eggs. Now, one of the things I love about omelets is they are super quick, super easy, and you can make them out of just about anything in your refrigerator. I have the makings for two of my absolute favorites here. A very traditional French style with fine herbs and goat cheese, or a very traditional American style Western omelet with ham, green onions, cheddar cheese, and a little salsa. Yummy! Let's get cooking. Now, here's an assortment of herbs I think work perfectly in eggs. These are all readily available in any grocery store, in their fresh and in their dried forms. This is dill, fantastic in eggs. This is dill in a dried form. This is parsley, which I'm sure you're familiar with, and this is parsley also in its dried form. This is rosemary, absolutely delicious in eggs. I'm sorry I don't have it in the dried form because I never buy it. I've got tons of bushes in my yard. All you have to do is grab the stem, hold on to these, and pull them off of the stem. See that? Welcome to herbs. The most dangerous things in the kitchen are dirty hands and a dull knife. So you want a sharp knife. I just chop that dill up. Doesn't have to be precise. Just keep your fingers out of the way. And that's good enough for the dill. It's going to cook down a lot, so it doesn't have to be super fine. Now you can buy this dried. With dried, it's a little more concentrated. So fresh herbs are lighter in flavor. I'm just, again, kind of a rough cut here. It doesn't have to be fancy. You want to put a little rosemary on it? Watch this. Grab the rosemary, pull. Yeah, look at that. You get that big stick out. I want to chop this up a little bit more. Rosemary is kind of stiff, so you want that chopped a little bit more. It's actually enough of that. See, I just used, look, a little bit of rosemary. And you can tell if it's more substantive, if it's thicker when you're handling it, it's probably going to have a more pungent flavor. If it's kind of light like this, it's fairly mild flavor. Sort of the chemistry of cooking, as it were. Remember, Thick and substantive, probably more flavorful. Light, literally light, probably lighter in flavor. Now let's put these into our omelet. I'm not going to add any milk to this. This is just traditional French style, a little thinner. Throw a couple of eggs in there, whisk them up. Basically all you're trying to do is get a little air in them. Mix it up, right there. See, it doesn't take too long. Just don't want any big lumps. Take some herbs, here's a little dill. Good amount of dill and some parsley. Teeny bit of rosemary. Mix it up. See, my butter is bubbling. And pour it in. Look at that. This over to the sink. A little salt from up high. A little pepper. And now, just move it a little bit to let the other drain off. See how I'm moving it? Just to let the uncooked egg come behind. Trying to slightly get a little bit of a roll on my egg. Now, the trick to these is you don't want them really brown. This is a fine omelet. You want it just lightly cooked. That's done. See? Still nice and soft inside. You can even get fancy. Hold your plate this way. Let me move it so you can see what I'm doing. Hold your pan this way and just sort of slide the omelet off. See that? Look at that. That's pretty. Now, move this off the heat. I will take my cheddar cheese out. Just like this. I don't need the whole thing because I'm only making one, so I'm just going to take it and put some cheddar right on top. Just for it. See? Look at that. A little bit more. That was your butter. That was a clean knife. Don't use your egg knife over there. Put that cheddar on top. Put that brown butter around that. Move this out. Get it ready for the next person's. And voila. A beautiful goat cheese omelet made with one bowl and one pan. Wonderful dinner. And you can see that's brown butter around it. Now let me show you a more traditional American style omelet, a little fluffier. I'm going to go with a different flavor profile for this. This one, however, has got my name all over it. Let's see. Oh, you know you want some. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Oh man. Oh wow. Oh, this is really good. Oh wow. You gotta have a bite of this. Here, I'll do it for you. Oh, yummy. Now for a Western omelet, American fluffy style, I'm gonna make an omelet that we can do for brunch or dinner. I'm gonna use some green onions, avocado, that pepper from my garden, a salsa, some cheddar cheese, and instead of sour cream, I'm using a Greek yogurt. It's about the same consistency as sour cream, and look, 0 fat, and it's tasty. You're probably going to want to start with your green onions, because as I said, onions are one of those wet vegetables I was talking about. When I mean a wet vegetable, they have a lot of water in them, so any onion, any garlic, or any celery, you always want to pre-cook a little bit. You kind of want to sweat the excess water out of there. That way you don't have that kind of metallic-y taste. Really critical. In my opinion, this is one of the biggest mistakes people make, is not pre-cooking onions, garlic, and celery. This is easy. I've got a nice sharp knife. Remember, most dangerous things in the kitchen, dirty hands and dull knives. Sharp knife. I tap the onions at the end like this just to kind of level them off. Cut that. We're just trying to cut them up a little bit so that they'll cook down into nice bite-sized pieces. Now, first step here, I'm going to go over, turn on my pan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put these in my pan so they start cooking down. The goal here is to make them a little limper, a little more brown, a little less firm so they're tastier. I take this right over to my pan. And now I'm back to do the other part of my Western omelet. Now I'm going to know this is, like I said, this is an early pepper. It's March. My peppers aren't huge yet. All you have to do to cut like a yellow bell pepper or a red bell pepper, cut that top off. We've moved that away. Now I'm going to reach in here and just pull this out. A good way to do it is just cut it in strips and then chop. Let's go ahead and do some cheese. I'm just using an extra sharp cheddar because that's what I happen to like. This is a grater. You really need a grater in your kitchen. They're inexpensive and you can get them anywhere. I just hold it in the package like this, run it down. Okay, so as you can see, my onions have already started to cook down a little bit, which is what I want. It's really crucial with these watery vegetables like onions, garlic, celery, spinach, and peppers to pre-cook them just a little bit. A couple of minutes just to take that watery edge off of them, get rid of that metallic taste, and really incorporate the flavors. Now I'm going to bring over my yellow bell pepper from my garden. I love yellow bell pepper because it's a really good flavor profile and it's not a strong flavor. Now see how much better those look already? This is what we call sweating of vegetables. It just softens them a little bit and it brings out the flavor. Now because I want my ham to be warm too, and I'm trying to do this in a hurry, I'm just using a commercially available ham. I like one that's hormone-free, no preservatives. This is really easy. I just take it, open it up. I'm just going to pull out a couple of pieces like this. That's 3. And literally just tear it up into the pan. You can cut it, you can do whatever you want, but this is just, I just want some bite-sized pieces of my omelet. Because I'm doing a big lunch omelet, something to get you through the day. Now look, just a quick turn. Kind of get those all warm, melted down a little bit. Because if you wait to put these in on top of the omelet, once it's ready for them, they won't be cooked enough, and your pepper will basically be raw, and your ham won't really be warm. This is cooked enough. My onions are sweated down, changed color. My peppers have started to break down, the skins have started to turn, and I'm sure my ham is done. So what I do, I come over here, I'm going to put that on my plate. Now I've got some tips for you on making fluffy scrambled eggs or a fluffy omelet. Take your handy dandy little knife, quick tap to break the shell, drop the egg in, another quick tap. I'll make this a 3-egg omelet. Another quick tap. Now your eggs are in there. Now, if I'm going to want to make a fluffy omelet or fluffy scrambled eggs, I'm going to want to add milk. You can use a low-fat milk if you'd like, if you tried to cut down on your fat, and you can even use water. But if you use water, you're not going to get that pretty golden bubbly brown. I like to use whole milk. Now you do not have to use a lot. Basically, all you have to do is kind of go glug, and there's your milk. See, eggs can really only hold about 1 tablespoon of water each, and then they kind of start breaking down. But I'm trying real hard not to get too technical. What I want to do is just put a good glug of milk in here. If you look, you can see my eggs are each sort of surrounded by milk, but they're not really floating in it. Again, it's just pick up your bottle, just go glug, and you've pretty much got enough in there. Now, what you want to do is start to whip your eggs. We're trying to incorporate some air into these eggs. You don't have to like be, crazy about it. Just try and move them around a little bit. We're trying to avoid those big clumps of liquid. As soon as your eggs are all homogeneous, all mixed together, and you start to see some bubble action going there, me make sure you can see that. Is to take a close look at your eggs. See how they've already got these bubbles forming in them? Remember, bubbling butter, bubbling eggs, really good. It'll help you make the perfect egg. So you just kind of want to whip it up. Now these are really incorporated with a lot of air, and they're ready to go into my pan. Now see how my butter is all bubbly but not brown? Whip the eggs up just because. Pour it in. Alright, first thing I do, a little bit of pepper. Again, like I said, do it up high and you disperse it more evenly. And this is all we do. Now, we just want to kind of use gravity to help us form this omelet. An omelet we want kind of fluffy and in one piece, not like scrambled eggs. As we turn it, you let the uncooked egg replace where the cooked egg is. Just give it a quick turn like that to sort of loosen it up. You can even rotate the pan back and forth. We're just trying to get that uncooked egg exposed to the heated surface. Now, that is a good enough time for me to put in my cheese. See how the bulk of the omelet is already cooked? I take my cheese. That takes a few minutes, so I put it in the center like this. This is actually enough for 2 or 3 omelets. You don't really need to put all of this into one omelet unless you're an absolute cheese lover. Manipulate it a little bit. Lift your pan, let it start to work with you. Let that uncooked egg come down. Look at that. And now I'm going to start training it. Now I take my pan here, go ahead and put all your meat back into the omelet. Lift your edges up, let gravity work with you. Pull the pan down. Let gravity do a lot of the work. Look. Now I lift this edge just a little bit so the egg sort of sets. Oh, that looks so good. Now see how brown that is? Now, tilt your pan up just to see if any more liquidy egg comes out. It doesn't, so that tells me this omelet is done. Look at that. That was less than 5 minutes. Take your plate. Take your pan, flip your pan, looky there, that's an omelet. Now let me show you how we're going to top this Western omelet. I'm going to start with an avocado. Really all you have to do is take it, put your knife into it, and you'll hit the seed. There's a big seed in avocado, so you let that guide your knife. Pull the avocado apart. I'm not going to use all of this, but just some. Then I take my knife, right like this, and just gently, you might actually want to use a butter knife for this if you're klutzy. You just want to kind of cut it in the avocado skin. Now I take a spoon, gather it up like that, and I've got avocado. Look at that. Grab my Western omelet. Put a little avocado on top. Oh, yes. A little teeny bit of salsa. Put a little bit of salsa there on it. Give it some color and some flavor. To taste. If you like more, for heaven's sakes, put more. And then, like I said, instead of all that fattening sour cream, use a Greek yogurt. It's thick and substantive like sour cream. It has the same sort of flavor profile. And this is 0 fat. Put that in there. Look at that. That is a delicious, look at that. Look at that. That is a delicious Western omelet in less than 10 minutes. All this cooking has made me hungry. And like I said, this has got my name on it. So join me next time on Simply Cooking when we explore the basic concepts of cooking. See you then. Oh, this really does look good.